Welcome back to Crypto Tutorial. Onto this video, I would like to discuss Chainlink, how it's currently performing and what we could expect during the upcoming hours and days. Before doing so, I would highly appreciate if you could follow me on Twitter at ThoroCrypto, and as well you're able to find the link towards my Twitter down below in the description underneath social and info. So please do not hesitate and follow me on Twitter to stay up to date about all development on my channel. And as well, what would be highly appreciated is if you could give me a thumbs up down below, and let's get started. So what you can clearly see is that if we take a look right now at the 4-hourly time frame, you can see that we have seen this breakout outside of this falling wedge pattern. So we were seeing this falling wedge getting created, multiple touch points on both sides, breakout. We clearly saw a retest taking place, and right now we are seeing one more leg towards the upside. So this is what we are right now experiencing. As well, what I think is quite important is that the 4-hourly candle that we are currently creating is the 4-hourly candle that just started several minutes ago, 3 actually. So this is actually a thing that you should monitor, because we do not want to see once more a major candle towards the downside. Instead, I would like to actually see a further continuation of the movement or a further accumulation at this range. Well, this being said, I would like to discuss actually for sure the EMA ribbon. So on the 4-hourly time frame, you can clearly see that we are right now above the EMA ribbon. We are clearly finding support on top of it, and I think this is actually quite a good sign, especially because if we are actually able to stay above this range even longer, I personally think that we will for sure see eventually a breakout or breakdown. And once this occurs, I personally think that it is very likely that if we do see a breakout above the 23.6 Fibonacci at $27.30, I personally think it is likely that we are for sure going to see a stronghold being found of support underneath us, especially because the EMA ribbon at that point in time will be serving as a level of support instead of a resistance level. That's for sure something I would like to see for the upcoming weeks, and as well for the further development on Chainlink so far. So this being said, I would like to take a quick look as well at the EMA ribbon on the 1-hourly time frame. We are already experiencing support underneath us. You can clearly see that we have been finding support on top of it. So this does actually look very good to me. And as well on the 1-hourly time frame, what I would like to show you is that we are as well creating this ascending support range. Therefore, I personally think that if we do see a minor setback, I wouldn't be actually worried, because we can still see a stronghold being found of support on top of this range. So therefore, I'm actually not concerned. I will be getting concerned about a further downtrend at the point when we will be seeing a breakdown occur underneath this ascending support, because at that point in time we will be actually heading further down. A level where I personally think that we will be finding a stronghold is where we did find a stronghold previously at $24.54, but that's for sure a stronghold for in the future. Lastly, I would like to discuss the daily time frame, and what I think is important to know is that if we do see a breakout all the way towards the 23.6% Fibonacci at $27.30, we will be actually seeing this major stronghold of resistance above us, especially because the EMA ribbon is perfectly aligned with the 23% Fibonacci. Therefore, it will be a difficult level to break out above, but once we are there, we would actually like to see the EMA ribbon becoming a level of support as well, so we could create a stronghold on the daily time frame as well on top of the $27.3 range. So that is for sure something very important. This being said, I would like to discuss the MACD immediately. If we take a quick look at the MACD, we can clearly see that on the daily time frame it does actually look very good to me. We are seeing this momentum decline, and therefore I think it is likely that if we do see further continuation of momentum towards the upside, we will actually be able to see that crossover occur on the daily time frame. And this is exactly why I'm personally very bullish on Chainlink, because I personally think that once we see this crossover occur, we will actually see a major movement towards the upside getting started. As well on the 4-hourly time frame, we are seeing a continuation of momentum towards the upside, but what is clearly going on here is that we are losing momentum strength. Therefore, we would actually like to see a further increase in price action, so we could still see the momentum continue towards the upside. Well, on the 1-hourly time frame, what you can clearly see is that we are actually seeing a momentum loss we are experiencing almost a crossover on the 1 hourly time frame. This is for sure not a guarantee, especially because what I think is quite good to know is that we could perhaps experience right now a minor momentum towards the downside, heading towards a retest on top of this ascending support and continue towards the upside afterwards. But for sure, I think this is actually quite good to know, because we could expect as well movement towards the upside, and if we do expect major movement and continuation of momentum towards the upside, we will eventually see as well the crossover I've talked previously about on the daily time frame. Well, lastly, I would like to discuss the RSI. On the RSI, what you can clearly see is that we are seeing still that minor bullish divergence taking place. We are still seeing this higher low on the chart and a lower low on the RSI. Therefore, I think it is very likely that we are actually going to see a stronghold being found if we do see right now a potential move towards the downside. As well, on the 4 hourly time frame, if we take a quick look at what we are seeing, this looks actually rather different, because if you take a quick look at this point in time, you can clearly see that we were at 23% Fibonacci at $27.30, and right now we are creating, it's a lower low on the chart and a higher low on the RSI. Therefore, we are right now seeing a bearish divergence on the 4 hourly time frame, and this is exactly why I actually do expect that we are going to experience minor momentum towards the downside. So heading towards a retest on top of this ascending support zone is actually quite likely to occur, and something you have to take into consideration, that Chainlink will head all the way towards the $25.30 before being able to find support on top of it. And if we do see a breakdown below this range, it is likely that we are going to see further decrease in price action. So that's for sure something you would like to take into consideration as well. If we head towards the 1 hourly time frame, what you can clearly see is that it does actually look quite good. We are not spotting any type of bullish or bearish divergences, but what I must admit is that if we do see a further decline on the RSI, it will actually be quite good, especially because if we do experience afterwards a stronghold on top of this $25.30 range and on top of this ascending support, it is likely that we are going to be a little bit further down and as well have more space to see further continuation towards the upside afterwards. So therefore, right now I'm actually not concerned about the overall trend. If we do stay on top of this ascending support line, and if we do see a further continuation towards the downside, I would actually like to see a stronghold being found on top of the $24.54. Otherwise, it could perhaps mean that we are going to see a further decline heading further down, and that is exactly something I personally would not be very pumped about. I would like to see a further continuation and a stronghold being found on top of this ascending support and heading towards the 23.6 Fibonacci at $27.30. So hopefully you enjoyed the content so far. If you did, do not forget to give me a thumbs up down below. It will be highly appreciated, and you will be supporting the channel by doing so. So have a nice day, and bye bye.